For me, one of the hardest parts of research was that fact that everything is everywhere. It's not like you don't have enough things, it's like that your findings are everywhere. And the worst of all is that everything is like half done, like semi-done, never quite completely done, so you cannot close that mental tab in your head, but it's sort of always there in the background with those low-key anxiety, like you are sort of worried about it, but you cannot do anything about it because you're waiting maybe for data from your collaborators or your supervisor to approve something and so on. So in my experience, everything was everywhere. Like I had some results in my Google Drive. I had some other results somewhere in the presentations I have been presenting to my supervisor while the project was progressing. Then I had some other plots that were somewhere, I don't know, in some folders and so on. So when the time came for me to finally put it all together, first in a paper and then in a thesis, I remember I was very frustrated by the fact that I had to sort through all of that information and then find a thread that would somehow connect all of those things. And this is something that I feel no one actually teaches you how to do. I don't know if I would call this organization skills or I would call it structure skills or whatever. But this is this skill set that you have to develop if you want to submit your thesis or you want to submit your paper, which basically consists of putting together, first finding all of your results and data and half drafts and semi-written proposals and so on, put it together, figure out what is noise and what is real signal, like what is real data that you can use, and then find a thread that would connect all of those results and methods and everything into a story that you can actually submit. And when I was writing my thesis and when I was doing research, I found that I really missed someone to guide me through that. And of course, your supervisor can guide you. Of course, your collaborators can help or your colleagues can maybe help with some tips. But it is, at the end of the day, it is you. It's you alone. You know the things that you did, you know, or sometimes you forget the things that you did. You know more or less you have this sense of where things are. And I found this part of the thesis the most exhausting by far, because you have this feeling that everything is half done, that nothing is quite there yet, but you know that there might be some sense, maybe some results are connecting, so you can actually put it together into something coherent, but you're not really sure how to do it and so on. So I found that this is a stepping stone for many, many PhD students, and when I'm working with them, when I'm coaching them, it's exactly what we work on. So with my clients, I always, before we start coaching on the thesis, on the structure of the thesis or the paper and so on, we always kind of do this exercise of putting everything together and figuring out what are the things that are important, what are the things that are not important, and how we can connect all of that into a research story that makes sense not only to you, but also to your supervisor, to your collaborators, and to people who are going to eventually read it, whether that's your committee for your thesis or some people who are going to read your paper, the reviewers, and so on. So if you are now in that situation, in that point of your research and your PhD in which everything is everywhere and you feel that you have nothing done and you are like buried in data and results and half written drafts and half written proposals, presentations, and so on, and you just don't know how to put all of that together, whether it even makes sense, and how to really put it together into a thesis that it's ready to submit so you can move on, this is something I can help you with. So if you are now in that situation, I will leave a link down below in the description where you can schedule a completely free intro coaching call with me, where we can see where you are at, how we can move on with your research, how I can help you structure it all and put it into a coherent story so that you can write your thesis without burning out, in a coherent and cohesive way, and of course so we can see if we are a good fit to work together. So I hope that you found this video useful, and as always, see you in another video in the next few days. Bye bye.